And this is Dennis Stillman. I'm really excited to present to you today about the wonderful, awesome Triton Student Center at Edmonds Community College. It's a great place that's near and dear to my heart because I work there, I live there, I kind of do everything in this building. That little window right there is my office. So much to talk about. We're going to jump right into it and let's go. A little bit about Edmonds Community College. It's 51 years old. It's a mid-sized community college, 12 miles north of Seattle. On paper, we say we have about 11,000 students a quarter, so that about 5,000 of those students are online. So on the ground, we have about 6,000 students who come through our doors each and every day. Programs that we offer, at least the popular ones: allied health, paralegal, business, construction management, and computer information science, all hot topic programs and doing really great. We have Running Start students, we have international students, we have an awesome on-campus housing facility. We have about 40% of our student population are full-time students. 87% of those students are daytime students, and at least 32% of these students are all receiving financial aid. So just a little bit of demographics and info on the college. Teaching, learning, community, as you can see in this banner, is our mission statement. Teaching, learning, community. We kept it simple, and a little TLC at EDCC. Cool. The Triton Student Center, let me tell you about it. It's a student center. It serves as the student union of Edmonds Community College. It opened its doors in the fall of 2009, and it's built as an addition to Briar Hall, which occupies classrooms, chemistry labs, the college cafe, and the kitchen. So where all the food and everything gets cooked, heated, and more. We also have a really great culinary arts program, so they partner. So we get a lot done through that kitchen. The Triton Student Center is about 22,000 square feet. It's home to the college bookstore, performance space, the diversity center, lounge, fireplace, the welcome sim desk, meeting rooms, conference rooms, administrative offices, and me. This is an example of the hub of student life, or what I believe to be the hub of student life at Edmonds Community College. Just students, a lot of energy, buzz, and a lot of going on any kind of day of the week. In this picture here, this is a good, I would say, 10:30, 11 o'clock type of gathering here. In the center, it's definitely 12 o'clock, right in the afternoon, right in the middle of it. I believe this is a club fair going on. The second floor has a study area, which kind of stays pretty packed consistently throughout the day. And not necessarily a study area, but a lot of students choose to study at these tables upstairs. Here's another angle of the stairs up in the air. We get some natural lighting through the lights, and it's pretty cool. The picture down below just kind of says this is a 3 o'clock type of, this is what it looks like at 3. So you go from this kind of warm up time at 10:30, 11 to 12 o'clock and to 3. And that's kind of the cycle of student life in the building. The physical space, I think Triton Student Center is a beautiful space. It's very flexible. It's very amendable. Students can kind of create what they want with it. Aside from that, welcome to the Triton Student Center sign. And this is about it in terms of the physical, directional, you're welcome to your kind of space. I think we rely a lot on the furniture and just the flexibility and the adaptability of space to really bring in that feeling of connectedness or welcomeness to the campus. I always call the area a living room a little bit, and I think campus students do treat it as a living room. The wheels and chairs, everything's on wheels, so it's all movable, and so there's a lot of functionality and movability and adaptability with the space. I believe the design of the Triton Student Center says that students want to be in community with each other and they want a space outside of class. And so this is what we do. Additionally, the space is allows for a lot of student events, a lot of programming to take place right here in the center of the center. And it's also helpful to note that the Triton Student Center, it stays pretty clean for the amount of things that happens in this building from, sun up to sundown. It stays pretty clean. And again, students, they paid a lot into this building. I should also go back and mention this was a product of a construction. This was a construction project that cost about $13.5 million, and all of this was paid out of student S&A fees. And so students literally paid for the building, and so they do a really good job taking care of the building because it is their building. Strange and Banning talk about conduits of nonverbal communication. And so these are a simple couch located in a secluded cove in the student center, signals a possibility for intimate social interaction. Whether stated or not, all behavioral settings are purposeful places. There must be a confluence of design and activity amongst participants if they're to be effective. So just being aware of these nonverbal cues or these nonverbal placements, or just how these couches and chairs are on wheels, those help add to that feeling of awareness and helping create students make space for themselves right here in the student center. Moving right along, psychologically, the properties of the student center. I think this is where I'm never really sure on how students feel about the space or think about the space. And I think this is an area that the center can really work on improving. In a previous job, we were trained to always take the perspective of a new student each and every time we walked into the center. And so this meant, it was a very annoying activity, actually, where we literally had to get up and walk into the center like 5 or 6 times. But you also had to walk in with new eyes. I think the prompt to the activity was if we were coming from outer space in another galaxy and the ship landed right at the front door of the student center without the actual sign saying welcome to the student center, how would we know this is a student center? What would it look like? What would it sound like? What would it feel like? All those other things outside from just the the physical signage on the building. And so that activity, as annoying as it was, it really stuck with me. And so I try to be intentional about every time I walk into the space or enter the space. What am I seeing? What is missing? What can be added? What can really improve the space to be more student friendly, centric, and again, makes that feeling of it's a student center. Because we're a commuter campus, I think students just kind of make their way through the center and they just get through campus and on to the next class. They're on to the next destination. I tried to break down a kind of a time grid about 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. That's when the building opens at 7. The space is generally quiet and not a lot of students are around. But 11 to 2 p.m. is high traffic, high volume, high energy, high, mess, high long line at the microwave because students are here, programming is happening, and that's that big window of time that we know things are going on. That 2 and 3 o'clock is when things kind of wind down, and then when we go to closing at 9, it's pretty quiet, like tumbleweed city. Sometimes I worry about that in terms of, yes, we socially constructed events and programs, which the Strange and Banning book talks about. Between that 11 and 2 hour, we socially construct events, and we're very purposeful about that time block. But what about the other time blocks? I'm not never necessarily sure if we need to have a program at 7 a.m. But what kind of feelings or what kind of the space? What are we doing with the space outside of the 11 to 2 p.m. time break? Sometimes I think we should play more music and just, jazz it up. And I think music also adds to a certain level of the atmosphere in the space. You also see a You Belong with Cecil sign. It's just some of our promos for hiring. And aside from that banner and this digital screen, those are the 2 physical signs. And we try to, again, encourage belonging, which is a new kind of way for our office in just the last year. Again, I'm always impressed how students are able to utilize the space. They kind of make it their own, and with a little creativity and some supervision, I'm always impressed at how we're able to change up the space each and every time for events, or even when students just randomly want to get together and, play band music in the lobby. It's really nice to see how they just kind of make the space their own, and they were able to arrange it, be so flexible. And I think those are all aspects that feel encouraging to students when they want to take it upon themselves to do something different. Discouraging aspects, unfortunately, students don't always use the building in the ways that it was intended for. So, for example, when issues of vandalism come up in the building, or clubs are not really using the meeting spaces, or students aren't using the games in the game room. Again, students paid millions of dollars for the center, so we want them to enjoy it and experience it in positive ways, and not those negative interactions, Strange and Banning also talk about that as well, in terms of humans come with their own kind of characteristics or personality types. And so, as academic institutions, we should be able to attract, satisfy, and retain those students, given their personalities, their background, what keeps them engaged, and what keeps them coming back, at least to our center. Do we satisfy and retain everyone? Probably not, but we should work to strive just to do that each and every day. And a sense or a feeling of belonging is truly important. Organizationally, I talked about physically. I think the building is beautiful. Psychologically, I don't know if we're always there. I don't know the temperature there. Organizationally, however, I think our building is really challenged. It creates confusion for students and its impact on the student experience. The center follows this umbrella model, which serves as a center among centers. And so it's home to the bookstore, the cultural center, the game room, the student publications office, which is the newspaper, the welcome desk and lost and found there on the second floor, the Center for Service Learning, the Center for Student Engagement and Leadership, where I work. And so it's very large and in charge. And I think one of the issues is all the different subunits, they don't really communicate and or talk to each other. So it's very, a lot of different services for a lot of different students. And we try to be the one-stop and catch-all student service center. And so I don't know if that's always so helpful. It can be a little overwhelming and doesn't always make sense for the user, in my opinion. Here's the bookstore closed, unfortunately. There's the diversity center also closed. Again, they're entities within the student center, but these two staffs, they don't necessarily talk. We don't have staff meetings. We don't really just, hey, neighbor, how you doing? We operate in our own subunits, and I don't know if that's always so helpful for the total user experience. The second floor, here's another hallway where the game room is located. The newspaper is so far back and no one ever notices it, and you almost think it's a storage room. And it should be more connected to the student experience, the student center, even the student engagement office. We're all neighbors, but we don't talk to each other. And I think that creates this interesting sense of organization within the building that I think we could work on. Strange and Banning calls this a complex structure, and I think vertically it's challenged. And because, again, the communication, and we don't really talk or connect our services, or we can't really spell out a big picture. For example, I think a welcome desk on the second floor just doesn't seem right or functional or the right fit within the organization. Maybe we should consider putting that welcome desk on the first floor where students can actually feel welcomed and run into a desk that says, welcome, how can I help you? Versus climbing the stairs and out of here. Some takeaways. I think the Student Center needs to address some student concerns through a Triton Student Center survey, just to get that sense of feeling and how students are enjoying the place or not enjoying the place. We should do a better job of recording the numbers of users, artifacts, and things on the wall. But Strange and Banning talked about that a lot, and it seems to be missing. We could really add that, and it can add to the vibrant, I think, vibrancy of the center. And then consider ways that the Triton Center can be less overwhelming of an organization. Thanks for visiting the Triton Student Center. I got to get back to work. It's been great, but, I got a lot of reading and, the next reference summaries to do. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have questions. Thanks so much. Have a great day.